Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Believe Sub podcast. Thanks for joining me. So today is going to be a little bit different. It's actually going to be a pre-recorded video of a panel that I was asked to join on pivoting and changing careers. So please enjoy this episode and make sure you like and comment down below. Hey, and make sure you share this with 2 people who might be interested in pivoting and changing careers. All right, I'll see you at the end.
Today, what we're going to focus on entirely is you basically assessing your skills, your passions and values. That's a very important step to take when making this decision to pivot. Then we want to definitely tap into overcoming challenges. There's definitely going to be fears, doubts, uncertainties when coming to this place of realizing, oh my gosh, I need to now make this massive change. Whether that is coming out of motherhood or going into motherhood, or somebody who's never worked before a day in their life and you're realizing now I need to work, or even those moments where it's like, you know, maybe I was this big exec and now I need to kind of backstep and do something different because, you know, maybe I know COVID that taught a lot of us that we need to go into realms like tech or into nursing or different things like that. A lot of people have had to make those scary changes for different reasons. So we're going to kind of dissect into that. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the importance of networking, reskilling, and leveraging your transferable skills. So one of the first things I want to focus in on and open the floor, starting with Gregory, is the mindset shift that is necessary in order for you to be successful in your career pivot. Whether that's embracing discomfort, learning from failure, or focusing on long-term growth. I know you speak kind of a lot on these different things, so I would definitely love to hear you speak.
Sure. In my experience, I'm gonna just give a little background about what I've been through. Some may know, some may not, but I was a burn victim. At the age of 21, I was burned over 80% of my body with second and third degree burns, with only like a 10% chance of people living through something like that. So I've always had the mindset that you're gonna be uncomfortable in a lot of situations. Now, your situation may not be as extreme as mine was, but in order for you to grow and to get out of that zone where you feel comfortable, you have to experience some type of discomfort. And what I've noticed is that when you kind of move out of that zone of being comfortable and now you're uncomfortable, you start to get adjusted to, all right, this may suck for a little bit, but I know I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna learn new skills. And being able to apply those skills that you've learned at whatever job that you may have, how can I apply those skills to other things? How can I pivot into those places where I want to go? So you figuring out what you want to do, where you want to go, and now taking those skills and doing that. So being uncomfortable, I always say, it's not always a bad thing. But, you taking that experience and being uncomfortable and making yourself grow, you kind of break through that I can't do this mindset to, okay, it's gonna suck for a little bit, but when I get past the part that sucks, I know at the end it's gonna be great for me. All right, and sometimes it may suck for a long time, and it may be horrible, but when you get through it, you're gonna be like, I went through some stuff to get here, and no one can tell me anything different. So
I love it.
A little better.
Now to get some actionable items done, I want everybody to definitely have a pen and paper. And what we're going to do is now create kind of this idea of your practical steps for creating a pivot plan. So this includes first goal setting, timelines, and support systems. I know for me that was super important. When I first made my transition from being a publicist into going to tech as a UX designer, I needed a village behind me because it required me to go back to school. So I needed my daughter's father on board to kind of really take the reins and be default parent for a while. It took me having my sisters and my mom really being on board to really be a support system. So I want you to kind of write down what your support system looks like. Now, support systems aren't only if you're a mom. Sometimes it's having a mentor. somebody who you can speak to who is at a place that you want to be, and they can kind of give you a better guide to where you're trying to go. Sometimes it's having a teacher that you may have had who knows you in a different way to kind of help your mind shift, or having a different friend group, or even joining things like this where you get to speak to people that you may have not gotten to speak to on a day-to-day basis, who could kind of give you clarity on the things that you want to do. So I want you to take your pen and paper and for sure begin to write down, what does my support system look like for me to make this shift? Do I need a support system? Another thing that I want you to definitely do is give yourself a timeline. What are these things that I need to do in order to make this pivot? How long is this going to take me realistically? How long can I afford it to take me? I've had clients tell me, I have savings and I only got this amount of money. My expenses is this. I can't be out of work for, X amount of time. This is how much time I have. So my plan needs to fit inside of this. So you need to kind of truly set your goals based on your reality and what's realistic for you. Everybody doesn't have the fortune to go back to school. You may need to find a different plan and a different strategy. So figuring out what exactly that looks like. And then, like I said, again, goal setting. What are my goals? What am I trying to do? Is it me getting a promotion and maybe a different position where I'm already at? Is it me kind of making my own business and then getting all the steps that are needed to do those things? So everybody's goals will look a little bit different. Take your time and write this as we continue this discussion, because you may hear things that chime something inside of your head to make you realize, okay, I wasn't considering those things. Another thing that I want you to do as you're writing this plan out is to sit and to think of the things that you're great at. What job do you currently have? Even if it's being a mother, you may be great at organizing. You may be great at scheduling. And by doing this, you'll be surprised how many skills you find that are transferable into different positions. I want to bring Amanda into this discussion now, because she definitely, y'all all know I'm a mom. Most of you know I'm a mom. Most of you have seen my daughter. But Amanda is a mom of multiple, which is a different beast. And she's often somebody that I lean into for advice. So I would love for you guys to get access to somebody who pours into me as a support system, to give her insight on exactly what mindset she felt was necessary and what goal setting looks like as a person who has been an entrepreneur and began a business. Hello.
Oh, again. Hi. So, yes, I am a mother of 4, and my kids range from 8 to 7 months. And it is important to be very organized as a parent, especially a parent that's in entrepreneurship. And it's very important to have your support system. A support system is important not only for you, but for your business or for working, period. Sometimes you can't take your children to school. Your partner has to, or and it doesn't just have to be when you're working or when you have a meeting or something. It can be as simple as when you're going into labor and you need somebody else to pick up your children or take them to school. So being able to lean on your support system is very important, and knowing who are your support and what that support looks like. So when I say what support looks like, everybody can't support you the way you want to be supported. They can only support you how they can support you. So for instance, my mom is a part of my support system, but I can't lean on my mom to go and take my children to school or pick them up because she's not in the area. So I can't lean on her for that. But the way she can help me is when she comes over for the weekends, she gives me that time that I need, 1, to kind of regroup from my week, 2, to kind of spend some time with my partner, and 3, you know what? I don't have to cook today because she's gonna cook. So I get to do something else that needs to be done. Also, I sacrifice a lot. What I sacrifice most is time. I don't get the traditional 8 hours of sleep. I may only get 2, maybe 4 if I'm lucky. because I take that time out of to kind of give to my business. So I'm writing up emails at 2 o'clock in the morning and scheduling them to go out at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm organizing my files because I need to kind of get myself prepared for the day. And if I take care of this now, it makes my day a little bit more easy to go through. I really have to write everything down or it will not get done. I write everything down and I carry this book with me everywhere. It's in the car, it's on the train if I have to go into the city, it's at the PTA meeting, because this book is my life. My phone is my life. I have everything I possibly need, from contacts for the PTA, for my business, for my support system, for everything is in my phone in this book. And if you have to, that's a part of your support system. If you need to lean on your electronics, if you need to lean on a notebook, because if you don't write it down, you will forget it. And that's something I learned in my short time in healthcare. Did you document? I need to document everything because it will not get done if it's not documented. So being organized is important, and everybody's organization is different. So don't be afraid if your organization doesn't look like somebody else. And knowing that you got it. It's going to be stressful at times, and that's okay. You got it. Thank you.
Another actionable item. Thank you for sharing that, Amanda. That was a lot of great points. So we heard organizing is really important, writing things down, utilizing the technologies around you to keep track of these things is really important. But now I want to dive into some actionable things, because I know that's what you guys want, the meat. So the thing that is extremely important about pivoting is your network. So don't be afraid if you're like, oh my gosh, Patia, I have no network. Like, who do I know? I don't know anyone. You'd be surprised who you know. And you'd be surprised the people who are willing to help you and the people eager to give you information. And I tell you this from firsthand. So one thing that you definitely should be on is LinkedIn. Let's all write that down. LinkedIn.com is a website you should be a part of, is a website that you should have your information on, because if you're a person with no network and with no starting point, this is a great place for you to begin. Number one, you can find people who are in the positions you want to be in. You get to see what did they do to get there, because they've been tracking every position they've had since. You also get to see the people that they know. And the beautiful thing about LinkedIn, it gives you 6 degrees of separation. So a lot of times you can learn you're 3 degrees separation from someone, which means 3 people away, you know someone that knows them. And that's awesome because it gives you insight if this person is approachable for you and would be open to discuss something with you. And more times than not, if you connect with someone on LinkedIn, they're going to respond 9 times out of 10, and they're more than happy to help you or give you any type of advice if they're truly active on LinkedIn. Another thing that LinkedIn allows you to do is search up different positions and seeing kind of what the necessities are and the requirements are for said positions. Even finding different entrepreneurs to learn kind of where they've began and started, and to even reach out to these people to become your mentor is another thing as well. So definitely use LinkedIn to every extent you can. It's a great resource, and it's a great way to kind of get you in doors you were not able to get into before. And I say this firsthand as someone who has received literally every job I've ever had via LinkedIn, whether that been when I was in fashion all the way up till now, because it's given me the leverage to discuss things with people that I don't know and otherwise would have never gotten to speak to. So I hope everybody has been writing down their passions, their skills, their goals that they're setting, the time frame that's realistic to them, and kind of the things you need to get this done, as well as your support system and what does that look like. I want to open the floor to Amanda and Gregory to add. I'm going to bring you in right now, Gregory.
Sure. Thank you.
To add what you want to speak.
Sure. All right, so I kind of want to kind of touch off what Amanda was speaking on as far as your support and your goals. Now, what I usually tell people is that when you write down your goals, you have to write it down and you have to stick to it. And one thing, when I used to consult with people, I tell them what like, for instance, your goal might be, I want to buy a house. Okay, what are the steps for you to buy a house? You have to have your credit together, got to make sure your taxes are done, things of that nature. Okay, so how do you fix your credit? You do it yourself, you can hire somebody. Okay, where do I go when I find these people? Or what do I need to learn to find how to fix my credit? You need to learn what those steps are and write those steps down. So for each thing that you want to do and each goal that you want to set, you have to write it down and figure out how to do it, and then put a time on it. So can you get it done today? Can it get done tomorrow? If it can get done today, all right, get it done. If it can't get done today, why not? What's setting you back from reaching these goals? All right. Then every day you do something that's going to get you to that point of reaching whatever goal that you set for yourself. And it's so important that you write these things down, because when you keep things in your head, from my experience and then talking to a lot of other people, when you keep these things in your head, everything could just see all jumbled around. All right. When you write it down on paper and you look at it, you say it out loud to yourself and you see it every day, now it starts becoming realization, like, you know what? I can do this. Why am I sitting here scrolling through TikTok for hours when I could be sitting here working on how to get this house? Why am I scrolling through Instagram, doing things that aren't productive? Yes, they may feel good, but at the end of the day, if you're trying to be productive, if you're trying to get out of the situation that you may be in because, you may hate your job, you want a career change, you're starting to feel burnt out, what are you doing about it? If you're just sitting around complaining about it, nothing's going to change for you. So write everything down and set goals for each day for something on that goal list for you to complete. What I wanted to do was, I actually created a page for Find Your Niche. I'm willing to share that with the entire group for everyone, and I'll drop it inside of the chat. So what you guys can do is you can print that out, and it has questions on it that are things that you can answer right now, and it helps you kind of dig deep into your thought process. What experiences do you have? What skills do you have? You may be surprised what type of skills that you have just by thinking back at all the jobs and all the things that you do currently. It's about 3 pages long, and what I would advise everyone to do is, every couple of months, go back and do that, and go back and do that Find My Niche sheet, and see how it's grown from the first time you did it to the second time you did it. Because you might be like, oh wow, you know what, I learned a lot of stuff over these past couple of months. So I'm going to drop that into the group for everyone, and hopefully that this tool can help you find exactly what you're looking for in life and help you pivot into wherever you need to go or want to go in life. So that's my little 2 cents there.
I love that. I want to now open the floor. We're coming up onto our last 10 minutes or so, even though it's more than 10 minutes. So I definitely want to open the floor for any questions. This is your time. Don't be shy. You can drop it in the chat, or you can raise your hand and ask your question aloud to the group. You never know, you might be asking something someone else is thinking. This is your opportunity to get your specific questions answered. If something that you have in your mind, or maybe you want to pivot and you're unsure as to how, this is, why is it trying to go? Thank you. I'm just wondering how to narrow all the goals we want to do. This is what I would suggest. Look at, while you're writing your goals out, see what commonalities you find within them. As you're writing out goals, you may see a common thread in some of them. And then what you should do after that is prioritize. What things can you do now? What things are needed to do now? And create a priority list. Because you may have extensive goals. You might, and that's kind of okay. But you definitely want to prioritize them for sure. Does anybody else have anything to add to that question? She said, I was just wondering how to narrow all the goals we want to do.
I would like to add, this goes with the goals, being realistic. There are just some things we cannot do. And you have to be willing to admit that to yourself. You can't accomplish this. Or this isn't a right now. Or this is a goal that maybe we could put this on the back burner until we accomplish it. So we have to be realistic with the things that we want to do. And with that realization comes, what are we willing to sacrifice? And if you aren't willing to sacrifice for these goals, then that's not for you. So I think when you kind of put in what you're willing to sacrifice and what's realistic, those goals will start to narrow down.
I agree. I if I could just jump in, I agree 100%. You can't do everything. You can't say, I want to bake cookies. I want to make shirts. I want to start a podcast. I want to make deliveries for Amazon. I mean, could you physically do all of that stuff? Yes, but somewhere something is gonna slip. You may not be spending time with your significant other if you have one, or your children, or one of those 4 activities may suffer. So I would suggest, in my experience, find one thing right now and lock in on that. Find out what the skills that you need to learn in order to figure out to be the best at that. People don't pay for someone to teach them a whole bunch of things. They have a pain that they want to get rid of. How do I fix it? So if you learn something specific and you lock in on that and you learn everything that you can, as Fatia mentioned earlier, find a mentor, go into these Facebook groups, learn from people, even if it's for free. And you're just helping them out doing something, but you're learning. Do that. Because what's going to happen is, if you start jumping here and there, you want to start doing all these things, you're not going to get nothing done. You're going to be wasting your time. You're going to be wasting everybody else's time that you're mentoring with, or whatever the case may be. So that's what I would, suggest people do.
Our next question is, do you have advice on how to develop a strong mentor relationship? There are many times that I wish I could have asked a trusted professional for advice, but have difficulty reaching out to mentors for help. Go ahead, Greg. Go. I want you to get it out.
Sure. You may have some mentors who maybe follow themselves, and you have other mentors who are just open and want to help. My suggestion would be, don't go in as you want something from them, saying, how can I help you? Do you have something that you're working on that I can maybe take off your hands and kind of help you with and kind of learn? It can be a little bit of intimidating going to certain people, yes. But at the end of the day, the worst thing they can say is no. You ask a question. That's it. Hey, do you need help with something? I want to learn this, but I really don't know where to start, and this and that. Maybe I don't have the money to join your paid mentorship that may be $2,000. It happens. YouTube University can get you so far. So, just ask. They say no, that's the worst thing that can happen.
What I wanted to share on top of that is the one thing I learned when I first got into my career, when I was in fashion. My mentor told me, always be valuable. If you can always show someone your value, they have no issue with trading. So find, like kind of what Greg alluded to a little bit, find out what that person may need that you may have. you'd be surprised what it is. Maybe you're a great organizer. Maybe you're great at keeping track of things, maybe offering that service to them. And now you're getting to be around them and being in their space. Maybe you're somebody who was a teacher, and maybe you can create curriculums around the things that they do. And by doing that, now you're easily learning from them and how their thought process is. And sometimes the plain old, this is my dream, this is what I want to do, you'd be surprised. You might have to throw it out there 100 times and somebody will respond. And I say that from experience. People who are really about it and really are somewhere have no problem reaching their hand back. I find the ones that do are shady. That's just my little tidbit. Amanda, did you have anything to share in that before I go to the next question?
Sure. I would just share that I think people are nicer than you think. People are always willing to help others get to where they want to be or where they are currently. And I had someone just come up to me at my event and just start talking to me, and she was very nice. I gave her my information, and she reaches out to me till this day on career advice. Again, when people want to help, they will help. I don't believe in paying people for mentorship. I don't. Back in the day, you didn't have to pay nobody for a mentorship or for information. That was a free service, and I believe it still should be. So if anybody's asking for money to mentor you, I don't think that's somebody you want to mentor. And put yourself in the room. When you hear about a networking event, when you hear about any event with something that you're interested in, you'll be surprised the type of people that are there and who you have access to in that moment, and take your chance.
So add on to what Amanda said, a mentor definitely is free. That's somebody who wants to lend their expertise because they want to be a philanthropist in sorts and kind of bring up the people within their industry. A career coach costs money. Any coach of any sort will cost you, which leads me to our next question. Do we have any recommendations for a career coach? I do not have a recommendation that I think will get you what you need, but I feel like Gregory may be the better person to answer that question.
Do I have any recommendations for specifically what? Like, are they trying to become a career coach? Find one? I'm a little unsure of what the.
Our question was asked by Rosie. If you can expound for Gregory, find a career coach. Is there a specific career or industry you're speaking on?
Well, if she wants to find one, honestly, you can go to social media and just type in the industry you're looking for. I'm sure somebody will pop up. Finding a career coach for certain things, it can be easy, it can be difficult depending on what it is, because sometimes you have specific fields that there aren't a lot of people in. You may have to just create that niche. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the question I don't understand the question to really give a complete answer.
Right.
So
Understandable. I definitely agree with his advice on, social media is definitely a great tool. She says specifically for career transition, have a background in finance, but would like to pivot to tech. You said tech, adplist.com.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode. Please make sure that you subscribe, you like this video, and that you share this with 2 people. All right, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you want to see. All right, I'll see you guys next time.